a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me.
Hi, it's May 28th, and this is Driving Forward Podcast Tuesday Trip. We're coming off of Memorial Day weekend, and I hope you all took the time to reflect on all the brave men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Their courage, dedication, and selflessness will never be forgotten, and we are all forever thankful. Because of those sacrifices, I was able to spend valuable time with my family. Many of my family have served, and in respect and reflection, I was quieter on social media than usual. I focused more on my family and enjoyed the weekend. I hope you were all able to do the same. So today's Tuesday trip really was going to be around nothing without trucking. I started talking about nothing without trucking last week. I was introduced to it at ATA mid-year, and I got very excited about the topic, and I am going to talk about it briefly here. But with a lot of things that have happened to me or others around me really over the last 4 or 5 days, I wanted to bring forth mental health again. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, but I'm going to continue championing mental health going forward. It's not just going to be a May topic for me. I'm going to incorporate it into my messaging 12 months out of the year. The comments that I've seen off of the posts that I've put out over the last 3 or 4 weeks have been inspiring. And I believe it's a topic that needs to be talked about more often and something that I plan to do moving forward. So I will get more into mental health here shortly, but I want to talk about nothing without trucking for just a moment. And next week, I'll likely talk a lot more about nothing without trucking. Nothingwithouttrucking.com. Go there, check it out. It's a very simple website. There's also Nothing Without Trucking Facebook, LinkedIn. I believe there's an Instagram, pretty much every medium that you want. And Nothing Without Trucking is largely sponsored by ATA, America, or the American Trucking Association. It's celebrating that trucking is America's backbone and that America needs transportation, needs trucking, that 80% of all the U.S. communities rely on trucking to receive their goods. There's a key component to Nothing Without Trucking. And if you go to the website, they're looking for road stories. And this is something that I wanted to bring forward today. So once again, I don't want to get too in-depth on Nothing Without Trucking today, but you will start hearing me talk about it, and I'll create several posts about it over the next few weeks, if not longer. So creating your story. Go ahead and fill out this information if you have a story. This doesn't matter if you're a driver, if you're a company owner, if you're a tech company. If you have something to say with Nothing Without Trucking, put it in here. I think that the kicker on here is that it needs to be a 100 megabyte file or smaller. So this is a maximum file size, and you can put in 10 files. So ensure that your files are fairly small. If you have any questions on how to record a video, or if you need help putting forward videos to nothingwithouttrucking.com, please feel free to reach out to us. You can hit us at drivingforward@glcs.net. We'd be happy to assist you in any way, shape, or form in capturing your story and assisting in capturing your story and getting it to the right people to ensure that Nothing Without Trucking can get this message to the right people and get it out in front of those that need to see it. So keep an eye out in the near future for more messaging around Nothing Without Trucking. I'll be talking a lot more about it. So once again, March is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I wasn't going to talk about it today. I was going to write a post about it today. But a couple things had come up. A friend of mine wrote a message that he is struggling with something. I'm not going to go into what, but he put it out on social media. He's not the guy to typically put this out on social media. I won't go into depth on what it's all about, but one of the comments that he had said was that he felt silly putting this out on social media, that it's not his style to do that. And my response to him was, you don't have to feel silly. Use this as your therapy. You make this message whatever you want it to be. No one on here is ever going to take a message like what he had put out and call that silly. Someone that asked for help, lots of times social media ends up being rainbows and unicorns. And when it's not rainbows and unicorns, you get an army of people that come forward with positive messaging and that come forward and want to prop you up. So if you want that prop up, social media can be helpful for that. And you can also find out who is truly there to support you. And that can be an interesting exercise. It can also work negatively towards you as well. So I caution that. But going back to the mental health side, you as a leader, as a friend, as a family member, you don't know who's struggling. It can be your closest friend. It can be your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your child, and you don't know that they're struggling. They can seem fine. Those who seem that they're not okay may be fine. They may be. It's all how you manage it. And over the weekend, we had a scenario with Grayson Murray, who's a 30-year-old two-time PGA winner who's been struggling with depression and alcohol over a period of time, who committed suicide. And this is a person who's very much so at the top of his game, or maybe not at the top of his game, but most certainly a professional athlete. And, it just states that you never know what someone's going through. He had stated that the PGA was, I'm paraphrasing, was the PGA Tour was something that was very much so a difficult thing for him to manage. And I'm definitely paraphrasing on that one. We've seen other celebrities battle similar things. Anthony Bourdain, Jonathan Brandis, Naomi Judd, Margot Kidder, and Robin Williams kind of come immediately to mind. But it's not about the celebrities. It's just about people. It's about people that we know, people that you don't think that have problems. And it's not always the suicide part of it. It's just simply being healthy and enjoying life and happy. And a lot of that comes around by being present and understanding their position, just listening, just being there to listen to people when they need to be, or when you need to be. So once again, March being Mental Health Awareness Month, I've created a lot of posts this month talking about various different steps, and go back and check them out. I'm not going to sit here and talk about them forever. This Tuesday trip's already rolling into a longer one And I have a few other things I want to cover, but I did want to call it out verbally here that, it's something we all need to be aware of. It's something we all need to talk about. And we can't be afraid to call out that we're struggling, that we're having a tough day, that this is a tough industry. This is an extremely tough industry. Our drivers are out on the road, especially the over-road drivers are out on the road for long periods of time, away from family, away from friends. And this can be a good thing for them. Back when I got into the industry, you would not be around. You had no connection to your family other than quarters and dialing or phone cards eventually. So eventually you got a cell phone that you could call someone. But so certainly the internet and cell phones have made the world smaller, but maybe that's helpful, maybe that's not. I'm not sure. But driving is certainly a difficult job, and the challenges that come with that are immense. And the stresses of the jobs that support drivers too are immense. So we need to be aware of them, and we need to be willing to talk about them. Wrapping that topic up. I know it's a big and heavy one. I'll add this to it. If you don't know who to turn to, I said this in November. If you are having struggles, you aren't feeling okay and you don't know who to turn to, feel free to reach out to me. If you're listening to me right now, if you're reading my stuff, if you're a contact of mine, if this is the first time you've ever listened to me and you're struggling, you don't know how to deal with something, I'm happy to listen. That's the least I can do to find some medium to bring you some form of peace, and I'm happy to do that. So feel free to reach out at any time. All right, so we're gonna wrap up the mental health awareness portion of this Tuesday trip. We've already talked about nothingwithouttrucking.com. And last week we had Ed Burns on. That was a great episode. We talked a lot about sales, a lot about just leadership in general. It was a great episode. Look it up on YouTube or on LinkedIn. Really had a great time talking with Ed. He's a great guy. If you haven't followed Ed on LinkedIn, you should check it out. He's got some great topics. He's a up and coming leader. Been around a little while, but I'm really interested to see where Ed takes his career. This week, and I always slaughter his name, so I apologize. Tim Krolsky. Hope I got it, Tim. Every time. So Tim's the COO of Garner Trucking, and he's also the chairman of the TCA membership committee. Tim and I will be talking about the Safe Driver Apprenticeship Pilot Program. That's where 18-year-old drivers can apply to get a license and drive over the road until they're 21. And Tim and I are both passionate about this because of the need, my opinion, the need of there to be a career path coming out of college out of high school, into the driving community instead of having to wait until you're 21. So you have to go get a job elsewhere, and then you have to come back in as a driver at 21. So this creates a career path, a potential career path for people out of high school. And so we're passionate about that. We're passionate about other things, and this should be a great episode. So Thursday at 1:00 p.m. Central Time. Really excited to hear from Tim. With that being said, I think that wraps up this Tuesday trip. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time, drive forward with purpose and innovation. Thanks for watching.